The Formal Gamer, podcast for those with exquisite taste.
Welcome to Season 11 of the Formal Gamer podcast. Grot and Dante return on their quest to eradicate the curse of the Freeloka. The peaceful people of Parasha live a quiet and tranquil existence, but evil is coming to rip apart their lives, for some more literally than others.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Formal Gamer podcast. As always, I'm sorry about everything that I've ever done in my life, and I don't understand why I do these things. Enjoy the episode! Hello and welcome to another episode of the Formal Gamer podcast. You join us with Grot and Dante split up because, you know, as every D&D DM loves, it's when his party completely separate over an entire map. Dante is currently sleeping in a crater on top of a mountain in the chambers of a birdman named John, who goes by the godly name of Ella Menace, whereas Grot has been sneaking through the forest after his camp of vagabonds was discovered by a posse who have been hunting Grot and Dante down since the very beginning of this campaign, really. Unlike what had occurred is Grot and Dante had a large battle over a cannon, and it looks like the clowns who run the evil circus that Grot and Dante are trying to take over have brought the town guard to back them up in this situation.
Whoa. Trying to take over? Don't be spoiling like Dante's ulterior motives about taking over the circus. Come now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Grot is currently, he took the group of sort of 16 sort of slaves, and he sent the main posse of them sort of sneaking back towards the circus, whereas him and his squire, Mushtak, smashed through the woods, making the largest pathway they could in order to distract these guys who were hunting them down, in order so they could sort of lead them off the track. And now now Grot and Mushtak are going to try and sneak back towards their main group, hopefully getting enough distance between them and the sort of pursuers in order to sort of take them completely off the scent. Grot, you are currently hidden in the woods with Mushtak, and you can see some torches coming towards you. You can now distinctly, because you have dark vision, see that there are 3 people coming towards you.
Okay, Mushtak, tell me, how good are you in a fight?
He holds up the poisoned sword that you gave him silently and just sort of does a thumbs up next to it.
How good are you at sneaking, Mushtak? This is very important for your approach.
Well, if you remember, you gave him your cloak last time, so he has advantage on sneaking.
Okay, right. Okay, so can I see with dark vision? Did you say I could see 3 figures? Can I make out?
You can see 3 torches coming through. They're coming through the thicket. Even though Mushtak did run for 5 solid minutes, you made him run through the woods, smashing branches with his fists overhead, hammer fisting his way through. There's quite a distance for him to come, but even then the thicket has not been cleared enough that you can sort of get a good look on who these figures are. You can catch that at least one of them seems to be a town guard, and you see the sort of colourful robes that one of them the patterns on the robes seem to suggest one of them is a clown. Maybe not a senior clown. It looks like the sort of normal. It doesn't seem like the senior guy you saw leading them, but maybe a normal sort of clown.
Okay, so, and do they look like they're heading towards our direction?
They're heading towards the path that you made. You'd snuck slightly off of your own path, so if they follow it along, they are going to bypass you. You could strike an ambush from where you are, as long as they don't see where you're hiding.
I think we'll continue. I'll say, Grot will say to Mushtak, it's very important to me that we remain on the moral. We're on myself and my friend Dante, we're on a knife's edge in terms of the moral balancing act we're playing right now. I feel at the moment we're in the moral right, and it's important to me that we stay that way. So when all's done and dusted, I won't get pinned down here. So it's very important to me that we don't kill any town's guards. But if it comes to the clowns, we can kill them. Okay, Mushtag?
Mushtag tries to do a double thumbs up and almost drops the sword and has to catch it in his gloved hands quickly, knowing that if he touches the sword anyway, he gets poison damage.
Yes, Mushtag, I will remind you that sword is incredibly poisonous.
he looks really panicked and holds it very carefully.
Okay, right. You've got my special cloak. This cloak is going to make it look like, so to someone else, you just look like a shadow. So move slowly and quietly. Don't worry about being too careful in terms of being visible, but you got to be quiet. Okay, we're going to carry on trying to sneak off the path that they're heading towards us. The path, the decoy path that you set down when you smashed through a whole entire forest. So we're going to carry on sneaking away from that path. Okay, Mushtag?
Okay, are you going to send Mushtag first?
No, I will go first.
Okay. Roll me up a D20.
Very honourable of you.
Roll me up a D20, which, if you don't remember, is ! 1 D20. Just in case you'd forgotten in the time we've been off.
Oof.
A 10. What's your plus? Plus 7, is it?
No, for stealth, it's 12, sorry. So 22.
Oh, 22. Okay, 22, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you like a shadow still go off into the woods, and I don't mind you seeing Mushtag's rolls in here. Mushtag 17 with his +1, so he's behind you very sneakily as well. Slightly louder than you, but by no means a bad roll in the slightest. Grot, roll me a perception check.
I will do.
Thank you. It's very good of you. Oh,
Bring it! Bring it!
Nah, 20.
Nah.
It's
Oh,
nice
really?
to do like some fireworks when you get a 20.
What are the chances of that? I mean,
okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
1 in 100.
Scientists still debate to this day.
Yeah.
nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Okay. You hear a voice you recognise.
Ooh.
You've definitely heard this person before, and you realise that you are hearing Lugnut.
Lugnut.
You're hearing Lugnut. Lugnut was a guard you found in Rill's cabin.
Right.
Oh, is he the guy that we
Yeah.
Convinced was
tricked
part
him.
of the Helen Scar Rapid Response Squad, who was working for every single one of the churches, who had combined their powers and hired you two as witch hunters.
That's a tempting mortal, isn't it, to pluck? Oh.
And you hear that Lugnut is huffing and puffing because he was a larger gentleman.
Yep.
But you had convinced Lugnut that the clowns were evil, and you are worried that. Well, roll me a what's the one that's not perception? All the others.
insight?
Yeah.
Insight. Roll me an insight.
Been a while, hasn't it? 13 plus 0.
You get the feeling that Lugnut might do something silly.
So hang on.
No, I can't.
Can you?
I got such a group of idiots with me.
Can you? Because actually, it's been quite a while since that. That was quite early on in the season, wasn't it? Now,
no, that was 5 episodes ago.
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Fuck. But in terms of like lockdown, it's been quite a while.
Oh yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, it was pre-COVID is the issue because things have gone slightly mad. So we recorded that pre-COVID.
Was he on our side? Well, I can't remember.
It is my favourite episode by a country mile. I just re-listened to it, and it says you threatened to kill Lugnut, sucked blood from his fingers while he was still alive as some sort of part of this, threatened to put him on a boat and send him to an island, and eventually rolled natural 20s, convinced him that you were a witch hunting squad hunting witches in Helenscar.
Okay. But how do
And
we
that Lugnut was now a member of that squad.
Right. But he's with the clowns here.
He's with the clown because he was a member of the town guard.
Right, I see.
So you don't know how, but in the time since you last saw Lugnut, he's been roped into back to helping the town guard. And so maybe Lugnut's taken this opportunity to try and do something.
Lugnut.
Yeah. You can hear Lugnut chatting away, and knowing that Lugnut's not the brightest, you're worried that Lugnut might do something daft.
Wait a minute. Okay, I turn.
You can hear him. You can hear him saying, Is anyone else around? Where's everyone else? Let's just stay here for a second."
And I turn to Mushtag and go, "Mushtag, this guard is actually. I just recognized his voice. This is actually one of our agents. I think he might be luring the clowns into a trap, but I know he probably doesn't have the fortitude to best these malevolent clowns. So I think we need to go back and help him."
Okay, Mushtaq just gives you the thumbs up. You've got your command Mushtaq assemble, which basically sends Mushtaq to fight whoever you point at. So Mushtaq is ready to attack anyone that you demand of him.
Okay, I'm going to try and sneak up behind them in grabbing range. The two. So I'm going to try and sneak up. Can I see yet if it's two clowns and one Lud nut? Or
so do me a stealth check first of all.
Bloody
to get close to your path.
Bloody easy. I need to copy and paste the command, obviously.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Plus 24. Okay, you're right. You're nice and by the path. You can get a good look, and now do me a perception to check to make sure. It's going to be a relatively easy one. You're lucky.
Well, 5 + 4, 9.
Okay, so I had it as a bit lower than that, so you're fine because you're just you've got night vision, haven't you? And they've got torches, so it's not the most difficult thing in the world just to have a second, and you see it is indeed 2 clowns and 1 town guard.
Okay, I'm gonna try and sneak up and grab the. So I should have. I point to Lugnut and I point to the. Are the clowns standing next to each other, or is one in front of the other?
Lugnut's walking slightly behind them. They're both a bit ahead.
Oh, okay. So, okay, interesting. So, I think I'm gonna prep. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait. I just realised that'd be horrible to the DM. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna prep a shot with one of my throwing knives to hit either of the clowns if they start to attack.
Are you going to wait for them to have a conversation to make him do?
Yeah, and I'll see what they say. And I'll be like, "Oh, I can't remember what amazing accents the clown guards had. We don't learn that's got a good accent, so this should be an awfully lovely listen."
Oh, fuck's sake! I hate you. Right. So you see the 2 clowns are he's a young male and a young female. The young man's got sort of long curly red hair and sort of dark eyes that you just sort of spot as he's going through. And sort of the young females sort of I think because maybe they're circus folk, they have more of like a hippie aesthetic, some of them. She's sort of got bits of her hair sort of dyed in sort of in pinks and blues and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. They're going for sort of a rough and ready vibe. And they both got sort of a mace each they're holding in their hand, sort of a rough-hewn mace. And they're sort of sneaking ahead of Lugnut. And Lugnut's just behind them, sort of going along, going, "Yeah, so, like, we're gonna, find them, aren't we? And then we'll bash their heads in." And you can see he's very nervous. He's got sort of sweat on him already. Now, he is fat and lazy. So part of that sweat could just be because he's been walking for 10 minutes now. And that does make Lugnut very sweaty. But he's sort of passing his dagger between hand to hand. Oh, sorry, not dagger, short sword between hand to hand, sort of getting ready. And one of the clowns stops and does a perception check. So I now need to roll perception checks in this situation as well. And is looking around and sort of is pointing and whispers to the clown, that the female clown whispers to the male clown and goes, "Yeah, look how many branches they broke. There must be a ton of them in here. I'm getting at least 30 people came this way, the amount of damage that's been done." And they sort of follow your route all the way to its natural end, and where it just ends at the wall of the forest. Suddenly, there's no more trail. And the two of them are having sort of hushed conversations about what happened to these 30 people who were clearly running through the forest, and then all trail of them completely collapsed. And they're searching around for signs of you. So they're not really having a conversation. They're just looking for any sort of trail of where you and Mushtak went. But what they're looking for in their heads is where 30 people have disappeared to. Okay.
I'm gonna break the my silence with an intimidation, I think.
Okay.
It's Lugnut, isn't it? Is that his name?
Lugnut.
Lugnut. First name Lug, Lug. Second name Nut, Nut.
Okay. Grot is gonna shout out in an intimidating growl. "Lugnut, the church will be proud of you." And then,
right.
And then I'm gonna quickly after that try and stealth away from where I shouted in the shadows to try and move my location as well.
Okay, roll up an intimidation.
Oh, hello. 14 plus 5.
Right.
25.
14 plus 5, 25, did you say?
Yeah, I'll go with 25, please, Bob. No, I'll revise that. I'll go for a 19.
It's a 19. Right. So your intimidation has been successful on all three parties. That has caused the two clowns to absolutely freeze, but it has caused Lugnut to realise that he was dilly-dallying on what his true purpose was, which was to kill these clowns. He's a witch hunter, and he has to hunt these witches. So Lugnut rolls an attack and goes to stab one of these witches. And he misses wildly.
Standard.
Lugnut swings and he hits branches above him, and the sword just barely comes down next to the clowns, who are now both baffled about why Lugnut is now attacking them in the woods. And they both go to strike him, and one of them hits with the female spins around, and she can't quite get her mace to land, but the male clown smacks Lugnut in the leg with the mace, and Lugnut shouts in pain.
Okay, I will whenever it's my turn then go in for a running spear on.
Well, yeah, I guess because
it's kind of turned into combat now, so. Yeah,
it did happen to have, because Lugnut had advantage. Well, had the advantage, so it sort of started coming down, and you're a little bit further away. So I've just sort of made that decision on the order. I think it seemed fair. Okay. And so, who are you going to try and spear?
I'll spear. If Lugnut's got hit by the woman, I'll let him get his revenge. And
he was hit by the man.
I was hit by the man. I'll spear the woman then, and let Lugnut get his revenge.
Oh, you give Dante a hard time for attacking women. Jesus, look at you.
Well, to be fair, I'm just spearing them. I'm not choking them violently to death yet. And I'll shout Mushtak assemble as well while I'm charging in.
Okay, so roll up your spear tackle.
So I guess this will be a. Actually,
don't you have like a charge move?
Yeah. I either get a 5+ bonus to the attack or push the target up to 10. I don't think I want to push the target 10 feet away because I just have to get them back again. I guess 5+ bonus to my. Well, I'm not doing a damage roll, so I'm trying to grab. So yeah, I don't think I get anything for that, unfortunately. So a charger, you can use a bonus action to either increase your damage or you can push a target further away. And I just want to pin them down and tackle them, really.
If you're not 14, so that's a hit. And I'll give you advantage then on your grapple to actually hold them still then.
Okay, wonderful. That sounds good.
I think that seems fair. I think that's the fairest way of doing it. So now roll me up 2d20 to see if you can grapple her into sort of like a hold. Are you trying to get your hand over her mouth?
No, I think I'm just going to try and pin... yeah, I will actually. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll try and subdue her and then make sure she doesn't do any screaming or shouting.
What was that about?
Okay, can I...
Well, that was lucky.
Oof, yeah, okay. So what's your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is +2, so I rolled a 1 and a 13, so I'll take the 13, please.
Okay. You are very lucky. You just managed to stop her squirming about, and eventually you managed to clasp your hand over her mouth. Mushtaq runs in directly behind you because he's been told to Mushtaq assemble, and he stabs her directly in the chest while on top of you, and she takes. Let me see the damage on that sword. I
hope it doesn't go through as well.
Where's Mushtaq's sword? Oh, there's his sword. Okay, so it's that many. So no, I forgot to do it properly. So she takes some initial damage, and then you can see like her veins bulge for a second as you see the poison damage go around her body. She is close, not close to death, but she is definitely bloodied already.
Okay.
Very bloodied. Sorry, I haven't added that. Right, yeah, she's very bloodied. She would give up very quickly at this point. She'd be foolish to carry on.
Okay,
It's unfortunately,
it's not my go. Yeah, okay.
No,
yeah. I was going to say I'll turn around to see what
Lugnut has. Yeah. Like eyes wide staring at you, like so amazed that as the church has called him, like you have appeared like an archangel. So he has never been more convinced of his mission to serve the Helenscar. And he's like, they call themselves the Helenscar Rapid Response Squad. Look how quickly they arrived. Immediately, as I was about to fight my first witches, they turned up. And so you've
been following your progress very closely.
Yeah. And so Lugnut swings his sword again and rolls a 19. Yes! He plunges his short sword into this vampire into this clown's side. It doesn't do the most damage. But it definitely hurts them, and the clown, knowing that they are in trouble.
So after Grot put his hand over the female's mouth, what did the other guy do?
The other guy didn't have. This is his first turn,
right? Okay.
So this is what he's doing, and he puts his hands in the air. He's trying to back off. He is like going, "I submit. I don't know what's going on.
I'll submit before the church."
The one that you're wrestling with, Jules, she's still writhing around and refusing to give up. She's trying to bite your hand.
Okay, I'm going to try and intimidate her. I'm going to shout,
okay.
You've been poisoned, and I'm sure you can feel it. If you stop fighting us and tell us everything we want to know, I will give you the antidote.
Okay, now...
Do I need to roll intimidation?
Well, you don't, because actually the poison happens every turn, so she needs to see if the poison, like if she can resist the poison anyway.
Wow.
And she does. So she does that, and then now roll your intimidation.
Well, I should also, to be completely fair, they're the same actually. Oh, I forgot that I had the same stats. So, because it's also a deception, because I don't have the antidote.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. It's one of the reasons I don't want to touch that sword. So they're both +5, so I'll just roll it up, and +5 will be my modifier. Okay.
Okay.
7 + 5, 12.
Okay. She is still rolling around trying to fight you off. But you can see that she's getting weaker and weaker by the second.
I say to her, "Fine, you don't want to give in yet. Time is on my side."
Well, it's Mushtaq's turn now.
Okay, I put a hand up to Mushtag. I put a hand up to Mushtag. It's cool, Mushtag. It's cool. Disassemble.
Mushtag stands down.
I think you taught him the disassemble rule, did you?
Or gonna-
Yeah, I hope he knows what this means.
Well,
Opposite.
This or that.
Mushtag sort of raises a sword above his head, but looks at your face and your hand up, being like, "Stop this, Mushtag!" And Mushtag lowers a sword, like, "I assume disassemble means stop this." And he points at the male clown, and sort of like looks at you, sort of like, "Stab him!" Like, points sword like him now.
I say guard him.
And he just raises his sword above the guy's head, ready to chop him at any second.
What type of sword is it? Do we ever discuss this? Is it always
It's
like a rapier, or is it something else?
Yeah, it's sort of it's a sort of slightly curved blade on it, but yeah, you're right. It's more rapier. So Mushtag's not using it very well.
Like a French Revolution sword. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. It's quite ornate.
Yeah. Okay. You want a hand guard on that one, on that bad boy. Big old hand guard. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I just brace and then wait for this lady to struggle a bit more.
Okay. Well, Lugnut is looking really confused about what he's meant to do on his turn. So Lugnut turns to you and says, "Are we not exterminating the witch? Are we not exterminating the witches?"
All in good time, Lugnut. All in good time.
He pauses. It comes to her turn. We'll do hers for his, and she botches. You watch as you hold on. All the fight goes out of her as the final poison seeps around her body, and she dies. And the male clown with her just watches as her body goes completely limp. And he says, "Please give her the antidote. You can still save her."
Well, no, she had her chance. I hope she wasn't anybody too significant to you, because she's moved on to the afterlife. And after what you guys do, I'm sure it's not the good kind of afterlife.
He looks absolutely like heartbroken.
Oh, Daddy always adds this layer to his NPCs. It should have worked for Last of Us 2. I bet they all have names.
They all have names.
Yeah. So I say, Lugnut, Mushtag, tie him to a tree. It's time to get some answers.
Okay. He doesn't really fight against you, and he lets himself sort of be led. He just looks defeated.
Okay. I say, Lugnut, the church has been very impressed with your dedication. The execution needs some work, but the dedication, I'm proud of you, and the church is proud of you.
You can see he's shaking with adrenaline, and he goes, "I can't believe I stabbed someone."
You did, and you were right to. Whenever you feel like, should I be stabbing someone? The answer is probably yes. At least that's what I've learned in my life. So we need to try and get some information out of this clown here to work out what's going on at that circus.
As you start taking him to the tree and start tying him up, we'll nip back to Dante and Rill, who are just finishing up an 8-hour rest.
We were having a wonderful time, if I remember correctly.
You've played some cards. You've eaten hot broth. You've had just a nice time. So,
was there any chance of a massage or anything?
Rill flexes his arms and says, "Yes, there is."
Brilliant. And some, sit by the fire, have the women of Jimenez play some nice lute music or something, or whatever instruments they have up there, and lovely. Right, okay, campaign over.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right, it's been a pleasure. You now live up here.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I can't remember what our arrangement was before we left. Did we actually have one, or
nope? You made no plans.
We'd gone up there to go find some.
You gone up there to rest.
Rest, and But we'd gone up. We there was a reason we went up there, wouldn't we?
You knew that's where they had medicine. She had, and you've been fully healed.
Oh, yeah, because I was super injured, like
Yeah.
death-wise.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Rill, I think we better be going back. I'm getting that itchy vengeance feeling in my bones.
The second you say vengeance, Rill immediately stands up and puts his hand on his bare chest. Don't forget, you're both still bare-chested throughout all this.
Yeah,
and
naturally.
For
Indeed. For oh, great Elemenez. I would be most honored to make your acquaintance. Just shouting loudly to try and get John's attention.
The waterfall parts slightly, and John swoops out and says, "You wish to return to the mortal lands?"
Oh, great, magnificent Elemenez, you look so bold in your stature. If you would be so kind as to return us to the poor mortal world, then yes, that would be greatly appreciated.
John swoops down and picks you both up, and sort of with a few flaps of his wings, starts to fly you out of the crater. And you hear all the women start their songs as he comes out. Come see Elomen. And you just hear them singing as he circles up on the currents of heat that come out of all the fires. He rides those airwaves up into the night.
No one's singing the Rumble Lion song.
Well, you do hear one little. Well, you did convert someone to the Rumble Lion song. As you go past him, you just hear Rumble Lion, and you do hear one person doing a little shoulder shimmy as she sings.
Right. Okay. I want to mark her. Well, not with my hunter's mark, but
she's your target. Yeah.
Yeah. In my head, yeah. She's got potential. That one there.
Yes, you see the nape of her neck does look very inviting.
Yeah, indeed. Right. Yes, and take a casual flight back to where we started.
Well,
yes.
As it's about a half-hour journey, as you know, and so you're not sure where this times in exactly with what Grot has been doing. But as you're getting closer, you do see relatively soon that there are torches all around where John's going to be dropping you, and that is a surprise. You were not expecting there to be torches.
John, do you mind giving Io a call and getting her maybe to go look down? We shouldn't be. There shouldn't be that many torches down there. Maybe you could ask her to go have a look.
Io, who had been perching, had been soaring alongside John, using the same air currents to sort of the thermals to sort of waft around. John squawks at her, and Io dive bombs and sort of circles over, fluttering in the breeze above the woods, and then comes back to him. And John says, she says, lads, she's told us there's quite a few people marching around the forest with torches and that. It doesn't look like you met some earlier. It looks like other people.
Oh, it looks like maybe things have gone badly in our absence. Well, do they? I suppose that there's no more. We wouldn't know anything other than there's just people marching around with torches. I suppose. Yeah.
Io hasn't got the intelligence to sort of discern a town guard from clown, unfortunately.
Right. Did we know what happened to the cannon, or is that just
the cannon? The cannon seems to be still sort of sitting in the path.
And how many people how many slaves, ex-slaves? There were like 20, weren't there, or something?
You had 15. You had 15 sort of slaves you didn't know the name of. You had Nushtar, Nithastir, and then you had Bilal and Rakab. So you had just under 20. Yeah.
John, I don't know if your eyesight is any better, perhaps, than Io's from up here. Do you think you can see anyone else hiding in the forest to see if they've made off anywhere? Or
now that's a good question. Let's look at what statistically John's eyesight is. Does he have? I mean, what's your perception?
Mine is plus 4.
His is slightly better than yours, but not miles better. So he's not fully bird, so he doesn't have quite a perception of like an actual eagle, but he'll have a look for you. But he suggests that you might want to have a stare around as well to see what you can see. But John doesn't spot anything.
Okay, I'll have a butcher's.
He doesn't have night vision, so it's making his life a little bit difficult.
14.
14. So you see clumps of torches, but from above it's very hard to discern what is what, and you certainly can't see a group of slaves in the thick woodland.
Okay, so go to get as a fixer and location, the last known location of where we left the group, and John, do you mind putting us down a little bit back wherever you think it's sort of feasible to put us down without being seen? Put us down either in the forest or on the edge of it if you can, mate. That'd be lovely.
So the torches had seemed to go into the east of the forest. So John finds sort of a clearing in the woods on the west side, because if we think of the path as the central meridian, he lands you to the west. So you'd have to. Oh, sorry, Rachel's brought the baby. Oh no, he's not happy to see me. Okay, well that's a shame. I don't blame him. I would be happy to see me either.
Oh,
After a nap, waking up, I'd want to stay asleep. And he lands you in a clearing in this woodland.
Right. Okay. Right. Thanks for the lift, John. I've still got the bow, so if you want to make yourself scarce and get back up, if shit goes down, then we'll send the bow up again, and we can reconvene. I think you'll probably be more useful as a surprise sort of asset in the sky, if you know what I mean.
John nods and he goes, I'll just hang out with Io for a bit. We'll have like a chat about things. And you hear Io squawk from above. And he goes, I know, don't tell him we're going to talk about him. And then he flaps a few times and sort of takes flight and, circles up above the breeze. And you see the two sort of winged creatures flying substantially above you.
Yeah, and then I guess start making our way towards the last place that we the group of people, to get a look at them, see who it is, what they're about.
Okay, so are you going to be going stealthily through the forest or just walking through the forest?
Well, I mean, insofar as I can stealth, yes, I suppose.
Are you going to put your armor back on?
We never really talked about how long it'll take to put it back on. Breastplate and stuff, I suppose.
It's not going to be a hugely long time to put your armor on. No, you'll be fine to do it. It's just otherwise you won't have your armor bonuses if anything kicks off.
No, we'll keep it off for the moment. Then I'll just tie this new cloak. Oh, did I get it? No, we decided not to have a cloak because I've got my shirt on.
You didn't take a cloak because you're already shirtless.
Right? Yeah. No. Keep the shirt off. Nod to Rill.
Yeah.
And then make our way with a 5 flat.
A 5 flat. Okay. So yeah, you stomp through the forest towards the caravans and the cannon. That's the word I'm looking for. And you get glances of flames through the trees, but you haven't quite spotted anyone yet. So you're not sure exactly what's going on. Rill rolls up a slightly higher stealth check and manages to sneak through the forest a little bit more sneakily.
Well, Dante's ever as bold as before, or stupid, whichever way you want to look at it. And I guess we'll just have to keep going till we see something useful. So that's a 19 this time.
Okay, you get closer. You get closer to the forest edge. So you're right by the forest edge now. You're much quieter. I'm just going to roll up Rill coming in behind you. And Rill rolled an 18. I mean, he's rolled 2 18s in his stealth checks. So Rill is completely silent.
He-Man bomb.
Yeah, and you're by the side. Now roll up perception checks for me.
A little bit better at this. 18.
A lot of 18s at the moment. And you can see that there's
22, actually.
there's a group of town guards, and it's the first time you see that there's town guards who are staring at these bodies that are everywhere, and two of them are sort of fully guarding, you can see, with sort of spears stood up the front of the cannon. So the main bulk of the people here are town guards.
Well, we're wanted men at the moment. So
You are wanted men.
Not ideal. Okay, but there's no clowns.
Not around here, no.
Is there any evidence of like where the group before left or went to?
Not from just this side of the forest. But you saw the torches going the other way, so you know that the torches were going to the east. So, you know, from above you could see those lights leading that way. So, you know, your logic would dictate that they were probably pursuing people that direction.
In that case, we'll take a wander paralleling the route of those torches. Now we've got to look at.
So you're heading south towards the circus, but like sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll up a very easy stealth check just to make sure you don't make some sort of ridiculous noise.
Well, I mean, you said easy now, so an 18 again. Oh.
Jeez, and Vrill's was fine. It wasn't as good, but that's another perfectly good roll. And you find yourself
last.
You're going south, and occasionally across the path. Hello, mate. Occasionally off the path, you can see that there are torches in that side of the woodland, and logically you're like, right, that must be where everyone's gone because that's where I can see activity.
Say to people, I mean, I like Forest Thrill, but one really can't just help not thinking about how much better this would be if it was a rice farm and just far more useful for, you know, cold dessert products. And
now, this is a big change in you because you weren't that into rice farming before. You were
rice pudding. Yogurt farming and rice pudding, both of them.
Yogurt, because the area has been mainly rice farm so far, and you've been very anti-rice farm. You've been very pro making pastures for goats. You were goat farming.
Well, yes, but one needs to diversify the business, Frill. Now, I understand, you know, where you're coming from, but you know, in these times, these difficult times, one needs to make sure that we have a foot in the door of all the market shares, really. You know.
Real nods and goes, there's always money in rice.
Well, yes, I mean, rice pudding, though, Real. We're not common farmers here. Come on now.
So we don't just grow the rice, we actually have to produce the rice pudding as well.
No rice on its own. None.
Right.
Rice pudding.
Okay, and so we'll leave Rill and Dante having their conversation about rice pudding as they go to the forest and cut back to maybe a slightly more intense conversation that Grot is going to be having. Grot, you've got this guy by a tree, and Mushtak is sort of holding him to the tree. You don't have any rope, though. Grot?
Oh, we've lost him.
Oh.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did ask you a question. You haven't got any rope.
I go, oh no, I left my rope in my other...
I believe you used all your rope in a huge battle by when you were tying it to bits of to blades and throwing it into water wheels. So I'm not sure you've had any rope since then. Unless you can tell me you picked some up somewhere, I don't believe you've got any more rope.
It's fine. I keep my rope in my other church trousers. You see, look at that. Right, look at that. You hold his arm. I'll hold the other arm. And Mushtak, you hold the sword up.
Okay.
Square against his chest. But don't touch him.
Mushtak holds a sword facing directly towards this guy's face, and you and Lugnut have got an arm each.
So I go up against, because I'm to his side, I kind of lean into his ear so he can smell my breath, and I say, "So, my clown friend, I want to have a little chat with you."
And at this point, he breaks out of your arms with a natural 20 that he has just rolled and goes to sprint.
Oh my god! Oh my god! He's got a dog. He's got a dog.
He turns into a live hound. He sprints out of the room.
Well,
so
He was the druid all along. The witch! Kill the witch!
He has rolled a full natural 20, and he goes streaking straight into the forest as fast as he can.
Naked.
Pardon?
Naked.
No, sorry. Yes, sprinting into the forest as quickly as he can.
he probably has left streaks somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's not slow either. I mean, though, it's going to be quite a foot race between you and him. The second you see him go, you're like, oh, hang on a minute. This lad's pretty rapid.
Okay. I think Lugnut can catch up to him, I'm pretty sure. I'll shout, Mushtaq assemble, and then quickly run after the guy.
Okay, so you and Mushtaq are sprinting through the forest. Where's Mushtaq's running stats? Mushtaq, how fast are you? Mushtaq's, what speed have you got, Grot?
I've got a 30 walking, so there'll be 60 when I'm sprinting.
Yeah, so I thought you, Mushtaq, and this guy are about the same speed. Unfortunately,
Can I try and throw something?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'll do one movement and I'll try and I'll get Mushtaq to chase him down, but I'll try and throw a shuriken at his leg to try and trip him up, maybe.
Definitely.
Okay, right. Let's do it. Nope. Okay. 1d20. Boom. Oh no! A 9 plus a
plus then.
a 8.
A 9 plus an 8.
Yeah, 17 to hit.
That is a hit.
Yes.
Lucky get. Right. Okay. And what damage does that do?
Oh, I should have read my character sheet. That does 1d6 plus 4 piercing damage. So let's do 1d6. So that's 3 plus 4, 7 damage.
Is he your 100th mark though as well?
Well, I don't want to kill him. I just want to try and slow him down, maybe.
I mean, you do hit him. A called shot. I don't know if that's a slightly, but you do hit him. And let me see if that. I mean, oh my god, he just rolled a second natural 20 for whether that slowed him down. He is just.
Did it speed him up?
It just gave him a little speed boost.
Oh,
He is just
like rocket jumps.
He is absolutely pegging it through the forest.
Okay, that's fine. I will, having read my character sheet, I will then do a double movement, and I will also do a dash, which is my cunning action, where I can take a bonus action to do another 30 feet.
Okay, so you're now within 30 feet of him. He had a full movement start on you, so you're now very, very close to him. Mushtaq is now behind you because he doesn't have a cunning action. Mushtaq is the opposite of cunning, and Lugnut is basically back at the tree still. I mean, he started, but he's not done brilliantly. This guy is now going to, if he rolls another one, I'm going to lose my mind. No. He's trying to lose you by climbing a tree, and he's got up a little bit, but he's not got far. He's going to try and climb a tree. He's heard how close you're getting, and he's scampered up the first few branches of a tree.
Okay, I'm gonna stay at the bottom marking him. So I will put a hunter's mark on him, I guess.
Right.
And I'm also gonna perception check around to make sure we haven't run into a group of other guards.
Okay, roll
like
up perception check.
Okay. Oh well, 2 plus 4, so 6. So they're very close. I'll just use my passive.
You have no idea what direction you're going at this point. You've lost track in all the running, and you have no idea what direction you're running. Mushtaq is from a distance running into you, like running up behind, and he is now caught up with you at the bottom of the tree, and he immediately starts trying to scramble towards, like, climbing up the tree as well. And so
Grot nods an improvement. He's like, let's see how this goes.
This guy climbs up even higher. So Mushtak and this guy are now racing up the tree.
He's still holding this poison sword.
He's trying to, yeah. It's really dangerous. It's so dangerous. If Mushtak falls, he's in a lot of trouble.
I feel like Mushtak's got a lot of energy he needs to get out of his system, so I'm going to just let him go for it.
Okay. Mushtak goes to start climbing again. Oh, and rolls an 18. So gets really close to this guy. And this guy goes to climb and fails. So Mushtak is now within fighting distance of this guy and goes to swing his sword to hit him.
In the tree.
He's now going to just poke him across the tree, but manages to miss. So the clown tries to climb once more higher, and really does. The clown is now really at the very highest part of this tree. He can't go much higher, and Mushtak is not able to get up with him.
Well, it's a standoff.
I kind of do a shout whisper up to Mushtak. Go, Mushtak, could you just poke him with the sword?
Mushtak does a thumbs up to you, but the clown obviously is still trying to sort of evade, and the clown jumps into the branches of another tree, successfully manages to grab it.
Mushtak, get off!
And so Mushtak makes a poor decision on his insight roll, and he decides he's going to try and throw the sword at the guy.
Oh no! I back off.
And rolls a natural 20.
Nat 20.
You're welcome to go into the other chat and see what occurs.
No, you're doing it now. I've been watching.
Yeah, it comes up. The dice rolls will come up.
That's how we both knew.
I was in the wrong chat. And the sword flies end over end, and the blade just sticks straight
wait. Roll the 100. Roll the 100. Come on.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Show us the 100. Show us the 100.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the exclamation mark. Yeah.
96!
So Mushtak doesn't throw it end over end. He throws it sort of frisbee style, and the blade spins round in the air and just lops the guy's head straight off perfectly. And then the sword sort of spins round and in a further tree lands lower down at nice sort of hand height and lands boing, blade into the tree, where Mushtak jumps down, walks over and grabs it just as the guy's body is still toppling, and then falls down next to Mushtak. And Mushtak puts his foot on it and goes, "Was that all right?"
Mushtak, you did me proud. I hope you enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Mushtak is beaming, smile that it looks like it could sort of tear his face off. It's so big. He's so excited.
I'll search. So I'll search the body then if it's fallen down.
Yeah.
Do I find anything interesting?
Nothing of any value, unfortunately. Okay. He's just a standard guard.
I'll say, Mushtak, let's go back to our friend Lugnut.
Well, as Lugnut, you can hear coming through the but we'll have to work out what's happened to Lugnut next week.
Boo!
I know. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye.
The Formal Gamer, podcasts for those with exquisite taste.